but not today.
Welcome to Rockstar Diaries, Healing Out Loud with Heart, Humor, and Harmony, Season 2.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. We are so excited to be here. We have a special guest this evening. Her name is Adriene Caldwell, and oh my goodness, she has a wealth of knowledge on so many things.
She definitely has a journey that she's going to be talking about that millions need to hear.
Yes, it's all around mental health. Welcome, Adriene Caldwell.
Let's give her a great round of applause here. Woo!
Hello, my dear.
Hi, thank you both. Thank you for having me. It is really a privilege to be here with your audience and with you. As you said, I'm Adriene Caldwell.
Yes.
I've written a book. It's Unbroken, Life Outside the Lines. It's the story of my life from early childhood to early 20s. And this is where I'll include my trigger warnings. But in this book, I have either been the witness to or the victim of the sexual assault of a young girl, the drowning death of another, emotional and physical abuse, extreme poverty, mental illness, homelessness, horrifically abusive foster care, bulimia, drug and alcohol addiction, pedophilia, death, suicide, and incest. So there is not much that I can't relate to in one way or another.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, words come to mind when I hear that someone who's going through all that and witnessed that is able to share their story now. It's like Janine, badass.
She is a badass lioness, I tell
Yes.
you. Resilience is her middle name.
Mhm.
And you talk about that, but it's also giving hope to everybody out there. There might be somebody sitting there right now that has no idea where to go from some trauma that they may be experiencing. How did your book come about? How I know you're really passionate about mental health. Can you talk
Yes.
to us a little bit about that journey?
Sure, absolutely. So my family is one of those families where we don't discuss the problems or the issues. We just shove it down,
Yep.
put it behind you, keep walking forward. We're not talking about it. In fact, they don't even believe in mental illness. If you can believe that, which the irony is so great because my grandfather was schizophrenic, my mother was schizophrenic, and my cousin is schizophrenic. Like diagnosed, officially diagnosed. and they still refuse to admit or acknowledge it. I believe they still see it as admitting weakness or a flaw,
Mm-hmm.
and that severely limits the opportunities to address it and to recover from it.
Mm.
So, um,
Those are some golden words right there. And so we hide it. I hid my depression for many years growing up because I thought of it as a sign of weakness. Just like,
mhm.
when I couldn't see the board, I didn't tell my mom and dad because I saw that as being a sign of weakness. Know
Right.
that sounds weird, but
No.
you're right. People shove it down. They don't deal with it. They don't talk to anybody about it.
So, what I like to do is I like to compare a mental illness, mental health issues with a diabetic. A
Yes.
diabetic, their body doesn't produce insulin and they need to provide the insulin to their body. Well,
Yes.
with mental illness, with depression specifically, the brain stops making happy chemicals.
Yes.
And after enough trauma, it just shuts down completely.
Yes.
And those chemicals have to be provided to the body just the way insulin's provided to a diabetic. So, would you ever feel shame about being a diabetic? No, of course
No.
not.
Mhm.
And that's how I feel about mental illness. There is shame that people feel, and I just want to help eradicate that shame.
And we're here to help you with that because we're on the same wavelength.
Yes, we are. I have a question for you. Now, you have family who's basically in denial.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in that process, is there like a point where you have to say, I got to step back and get away from this for a while. You got to take a break. Did you experience that or did you walk with that the whole time?
I have separated myself from my family when it comes to those topics. I just adhere to the family model of we're not going to discuss it, and I just leave it be because there is no point in me trying to force them to discuss it.
Hmm.
They don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to deal with it. They just want to leave it in the past. And I respect that rather than trying to force the issue. So, in fact, I myself was diagnosed as bipolar, and um, I thought I was bipolar for 20 years until my psychiatrist in 2008 told me, Adrienne, no, you're not bipolar. You have severe PTSD.
Mm.
And I was like, ah, that makes so much sense. And I got my first psychiatric evaluation when I was 13 years old. I was entering foster care, and that's part of the process is to have an evaluation done. And at that time, I was diagnosed with early onset reactive attachment disorder, anxiety, obsessive compulsive traits, and dysthymia, which is the precursor to major depressive disorder. And I did at 15 make the transition to major depressive disorder along with the others. So,
Can we get down into the weeds for a minute? What types of tests did they take? I mean, you're 13 years old, and I can't even imagine going through that, Adrian.
sure,
You don't have to give the details, but what
that's
was
fine.
that like?
I was so with my background, I was so traumatized that I was constantly on guard.
Mm,
So I cooperated with the test takers, but they even remark in the exam, which my psychiatric evaluation I included at the end of my book.
okay.
Um, and So there were the IQ tests that are very typical. Then there are the drawing tests, and one of my results said the result of her projective drawing is a stark sense of inner bareness. Um, and I I cooperated with the testers, but I was constantly on guard, and that's pretty much how I operated at that point in my life. I was always looking for the next time the rug was going to get pulled out from under me. So, in fact, I've only recently stopped feeling that way, and it's after being married for 8 years to an incredible man that
Yes.
I've finally learned to set down roots and to trust my environment, because I had so many hits, just one after the other, and it continued. There might be a book number two, because I became medically disabled. And then 13 days later, my husband, who was 38 years old, passed away of a heart attack
Oh.
suddenly. So I was widowed at the age of 35, as well as losing my professional identity. I was a certified financial planner, I was a senior financial advisor. A great deal of my self-worth and my identity was tied to my profession. So yeah, we'll see. And there's another doozy that I'm not going to get into on here, but there was another incident in my later life that it's a doozy.
Mm. Well, when we come back, we're going to have more with Adriene Caldwell. And I just want to make this comment that we choose on Rockstar Diaries, Healing Out Loud, to heal out loud.
Mhm.
And we don't hold back. We don't make everything fluffy and sugar coated butterflies with, what did you say yesterday? Butterflies that
Go, butterflies that pass roses as gas.
it's like, no, we get into the nitty gritty. And so we're really happy to have you here. We'll be right back with Adriene Caldwell.
Death and taxes! Death and taxes! But not today.
Cedar Ridge Acres. So, why? 'Cause you smell good.
Hi, I'm Lori Hardy, and I help business owners go from frustration to ease when it comes to podcasting. If you're looking to boost your credibility and grow your business but feel overwhelmed by the process, I've got you covered. With over 30 years of experience in top radio markets, I know how to make your voice heard. My 7-day Podcast Pro program helps you move from scattered and unsure to confidently launching and maintaining a podcast that connects with your audience, builds your legacy. It's done with ease and minimal time. Plus, I'll share insider tips to help you rank in the top 5% and take your message national or even global. 7-day Podcast Pro is your launch pad. Let's get your voice into the world where it belongs.
You're watching the Rockstar Diaries TV show.
Hey, Rockstar Diaries, we're back here with the amazing Adriene Caldwell. She has a book, and you know what? It's pretty cool.
Yes.
She's telling us a lot of good earthly things here.
Earthly things.
Earthly things that go
Not from
into
Mars.
us, and we can heal ourselves.
Yes.
Because if we don't have the ability to heal, we're stuck with the bullies in our mind, aren't we?
Yes. And I just want to give you a round of applause, Adriene, because just listening to you and what you've gone through, you are speaking from a level of healing. And we teach that through our Story to Stage program. A lot of people come to us and they say, okay, I have these stories and I just don't know where to go with them, but I know that they can impact the world. One of the first things that we work on is speaking your story, not from a catharsis level, but from a healing standpoint. Because if you're speaking from hurt, from the wounds, you're bleeding on stage in a sense.
Right.
You're bleeding on stage, but when you're speaking from healing, and you've recovered that, people really lean in because they want what you have. And I see that in you. So just wanted to applaud you on that. You are a shining light, having been through what you've been through. And I do want to delve into some of those uncomfortable subjects, the triggers that you brought up, if you are comfortable and willing.
Absolutely.
But first, can we talk about the healing process? You've talked about so much, but when did you know that you were ready to go on podcasts and go on the stages and spread the message?
So it's taken me 5 years to write the book. And finishing that is when I realized that, okay, it's time to put my story into the world. And writing the book was absolute hell. It was 5 years of hell because I hadn't gone through the catharsis. I hadn't gone through the healing process. That's what writing the book actually did for me. Was it forced me to address those issues, which I had compartmentalized and pushed down and repressed, doing exactly what my family had taught me to do with emotions and situations, to repress and deny. So it was when I finished writing the book that it was time for me to put my story into the world. And I do that with the hope that somebody can look at my story and say, okay, if she can go through all of that and come out the other side and be grateful and have an amazing life and just feel completely blessed, if she can go through all that and get there, then I can make it through what I'm going through.
Amen to that. Wow. I started, so I would recommend to anybody out there to journal or record it on your phone. That is spot on. I'm a Celebrate Recovery leader. And that's one of the first things when we work through inventory, that's what we call it, is writing things down. The good, the bad, the ugly, trying to see the good in everything too. I know that's really hard for people to do, but to see maybe on the other side what good came from it,
Yes.
like what, and when I think of the good, it's what you've learned from it. It's not necessarily that there's anything redemptive or good about the actual thing that happened, but that you are here because you've learned something and now you're sharing your learnings and knowledge with others, which is we call that being a rock star.
Yes.
Rock star.
Yes.
Well,
Hey, how would you help someone who's been through that financial collapse like you went through?
do you mean losing my identity, my
Yes.
professional
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Let's
Yes.
clarify
Yeah.
that. Not a finance. It's when she lost
Her
position and her,
as
yes.
a financial planner.
Yes, because we are not what we do.
Right.
But, let's talk about that.
So, coming from the childhood that I had, initially, I didn't have an occupation where I could support myself. I relied on other people, specifically men, to support me.
Mhm.
And life happened, and I I had a daughter, and I made the decision that I was going to give her a childhood that I did not have. And to do that meant I had to get my act together. And part of that was going into the professional world. I was first a personal banker, then I got my securities licenses, stocks, bonds, all that fun stuff. Eventually becoming a senior financial advisor, financial planner. And I was so proud of myself for going from being dependent on others to being independent and then losing that independence due to a health issue. I had to define my self-worth in a new way,
Yes.
and it was not easy. It There was an empty spot where there used to be a profession, an occupation. So I had to look at my life and the relationships in my life and my goals for myself personally as they shifted, and sort of refocus. And instead of saying I'm a financial planner, I'm independent, I had to accept some new realities. I am a mother, I am a wife, and my self-worth does not come from just my occupation. It comes from my roles, and also now being an author and a storyteller, sharing my story with the world. So I've shifted.
Mm.
You certainly have. I'm 59, turning 60 this year. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is when I was growing up was in the 60s and 70s. And depression, they knew very little about it. Depressive illness, a lot less than they do now. Let's
Mhm.
just say that. And I suffered from low self esteem, depression, but I didn't know it was depression growing up. I just always thought that I had to earn my self worth. I had to earn my place in this world. And that continued into adulthood
Mhm.
because, again, it was untreated, as you had mentioned earlier, not knowing what was going on with me. I just felt like something was broken. Okay, I was born this way without a self esteem. It's always going to be that way. I truly had gotten to that point, and I was earning my self worth by do. And I was a high achiever. I was getting everything I wanted in life, high up in the corporate world, singing on rock stages, all kinds of things. But I was not fulfilled because I was doing them all for the wrong reasons.
Right.
And you're so spot on. When something is taken away, sometimes that's a blessing in disguise, isn't it? When something, because we're able to rest, we're able to reassess, right? Or just look at life and say, what truly is important to me?
Right.
I don't need to earn my worth, right, Adrienne? Am I am
Absolutely.
I getting off base?
No, you're absolutely correct. This book would not exist if I still had my career as a financial planner.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. So
Mhm.
my purpose
Yeah.
shifted. And I completely agree and understand with you when you say you feel like you had to earn your worth. My
Mm-hmm.
mother, being schizophrenic, she wasn't able to have an independent household. We had to live with relatives. We were at one point homeless. We lived in government housing. And every time I was in those situations, living with an aunt and an uncle, that I wasn't their child. I didn't belong there. I tried to earn the right to be there through cleaning and cooking and being, the perfect child, never doing anything wrong. So it took a long time to overcome those insecurities and that self-doubt, and to stop feeling the need to earn my place.
I see the sun, it's breaking through a world of gray, now painted blue. The shadows fade, the light arrives. Feel the spark come alive. The wind, it whispers secrets loud, a melody beneath the cloud. The stars, they fall but never die. Catch their glow, it's worth a try. Open your eyes, the world is calling. Catch the fire while it's falling. Step into the wild unknown. Find the rhythm of your own. The earth, it hums a quiet tune, dancing soft beneath the moon. The mountains sing, the rivers cry, all of this just waiting by. Hear the pulse beat so true, the universe is speaking to you. Feel the heartbeat, feel the drive. You're here now, you're alive. Open your eyes, the world is calling. Catch the fire while it's falling. Step into the wild unknown. Find the rhythm of your own. Open your eyes, the world is calling. Catch the fire while it's falling. Step into the wild unknown. Find the rhythm of your own.
What was the catalyst? Did something happen, some major trajectory change, or was it like a slow process?
So when I got out of Children's Protective Services
Mhm.
custody, when I turned 18,
Mm-hmm.
they sent a form in the mail saying, "Hey, we have your case file. If you want it, let us know. Otherwise, we're going to just burn it." And I said, "No, I want it. Give it here."
Mm-hmm.
And then I tried to open it and go through it, and I was just completely overwhelmed. And I shoved it back under the couch and back in the closet. I couldn't deal with it. And every 3 or 4 or 5 years, I would go back to it to try to go through it because there were, my psychiatric evaluations, therapist reports, caseworker notes, the notes from being taken into custody, the final beating I received from my mother, um, all of these things that I couldn't accept or be open to until I was 40 years old. It took me 2 decades to be able to go through this giant box full of these documents. And directly before that, I had gone through the process of making amends. So I am an alcoholic, I am a drug addict, but I don't do the AA/NA. It's just not for me. I just made the decision to to not drink, to not do drugs. I just don't do it. I do the drugs that have my name on the bottle.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I felt the need to let the people who I had hurt early throughout my life, because I did hurt people. I used people. I didn't grow up with role models on healthy communication and behavior. I didn't learn all of those things. So I learned survival instincts. How to not be in the way, how to get the gold star. So I had to learn all of these behaviors that other children, other people, they grow up with because they have a traditional family environment. And I didn't. So I made amends, and then I started going through this box of documents, and I actually got very angry about the abuse that I endured in foster care. And I'll put it this way. So my schizophrenic, physically abusive mother, where my last beating was with a wooden dowel rod, the thing you use in your closet, you hang your clothes on, that's what she beat me with. I've never had a nightmare about her. The foster parent that I lived with, and in the book, I refer to her as the witch from hell, except it's with the B, TBFH, that's her name. I've had nightmares as recently as a week ago.
Mm.
So, and it wasn't physical or sexual abuse, it was emotional and psychological abuse.
Mm.
So, for anyone listening, never devalue or undervalue or dismiss emotional and psychological abuse. It was more damaging to me than the physical abuse I received from my schizophrenic mother.
Yes, and that's one thing we're learning recently is the the tongue is able to heal with good intent
Or
rather than
destroy.
rather than destroy things. And I just admire what you've gone through. It's just such a journey. Now, you are a self-published author, correct?
Well, the book comes out March 17th. So,
And wow,
Right.
wow,
Woo.
that's St. Patrick's Day. That's pretty cool.
oh,
So,
think about that.
yeah. So now, through this process, did you have mentors or people like behind the
Good
scenes
question.
helping you get all this together and guiding you and making sure everything is all
That's a
information?
fantastic question. And if I had known how difficult it would be to write this book, I I'm not sure I'd do it again. But I had an incredible support system behind me. My husband, my psychiatrist, um, just very supportive environment. And I would not recommend for anyone to endeavor to write their trauma memoir without a solid support network, because there were many times where I was just overwhelmed. I had
Mm-hmm.
just written about, the last beating from my mother. I was just not in the right headspace, and my husband would come home and allow me to just vent and to just and be that support system for me. So anyone who wants to write, make sure you have that support system in place. It's critical.
That is something that we stand firm on, is your inner circle, who you spend time with, your support system, and it comes from various different places. It's not a cookie cutter kind of thing. I too, I hate to say it, but I haven't had a solid family for a long time. And so they say blood is thicker than water. Well, some of the most important people in my life have been my mentors, my coaches, psychologists, that type of thing. So applause that to you again for knowing that and for leaning into it. And I see all kinds of gratitude in you, which is so great. When we come back, we're going to do a little bit of storytelling, because I have a feeling like she's such a great author and speaker. So we want to hear some stories. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
No one is listening to our music, not even our moms. Hello, is anyone there?
No one is listening to our music, not even our moms.
There is hope. We will play your video. Why? We love music and smiles.
Rockstar Diaries swag. Scan now.
Get your exclusive gear.
Check it out.
Hey, welcome back to Rockstar Diaries Healing Out Loud. We were talking about mentors a little bit earlier, and we have someone in mind who's been helping us getting involved. In fact, we wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for Dr. Lauren Michaels Harris.
Yes.
And first met him on a trip to Romania to foster orphanages and all that, with the homes, with domestic shelters and all that, and doing a tour through all that in Romania. It was amazing. And through the power of we.
Yes. And the reason why he is so passionate about that is he went through 40 different foster homes. And he is on a mission to help foster care, change the laws and
change the system,
but also to speak life into some of these kids everywhere he goes. And he speaks from a place of knowing, but also understanding and love. And it seems like you have been there as well. Do you mind talking about some of your experiences?
Yeah, not at all. Foster care. Wow. And I thought I had been through a lot. I went to 13 schools by the time I graduated high school.
Wow.
But as I mentioned, the worst abuse I suffered was at the hands of the foster parent. And what she did was she dehumanized us. And some examples of how we were treated: we were given different food than what they would eat. They would have steak and avocado, and we would get tuna casserole and hamburger helper, which that was fine. We were forced to use different dishes and silverware. They wouldn't use dishes that we, the foster children, had used. There was one full bathroom in the house and a half bath attached to the master bedroom. The foster kids got the master because she could shove as many kids as possible into the larger room. And we were only allowed to use the toilet in the half bath, the one attached to our bedroom. And when we went to shower, we had exactly 10 minutes from the time the door shut to the time it opened. And the last foster kid had to clean the tub with a bleach cleaner. They would not take a shower in the shower that the foster kids had been in until it had been bleached down. And I asked one time, you know, how do they get away with that? How do they get to treat us like this? And the answer that the foster mother gave me was, "Oh, well, it's for our granddaughter. You know, she takes baths, and we don't want her to have any dirt or anything in the tub from the foster kids." So just total BS. And we were not allowed to sit on the furniture. We had to sit on the floor like animals. And we even had an alarm on our bedroom door. So at a certain time, she would turn the alarm on, and we were locked inside the bedroom. So, and she just ensured that we were isolated, that we couldn't report to our therapists or our caseworkers. We were never really alone in with them. And then how do you report someone who's in charge of your daily life? You know, that there was not that opportunity. And I ended up uh, I was awarded a scholarship from Congress to do a 1 year foreign exchange to Germany. And that's how I got out of her home. But I lived with her for 3 years. And as I mentioned earlier, I still have nightmares about her. I wake up crying. And I just, when I was going through my documents, I got so angry. I reached out to lawyers and to the state and to the counties and just said, is there anything I can do? First, I want to make sure that this woman never has another foster child in her home. And I reported her because she moved counties and it's done differently. I made sure to report her. And I was told there was nothing I can do. So that's really when I started writing, because it was one thing that I could do to help me get that anger out, because it's toxic. And I she is the only person I have not been able to forgive. The abuse was so pervasive, so intentional, that and I want to, because it's a darkness on me. It's a hardship on me. It it doesn't affect her.
Right.
So so I that is one thing that I am still working towards. I'm not quite there yet, but I will be one day.
Yes, you will. Yes. And anger is a part of grieving. It is a necessary part. I mean, we don't, of course, we don't want to keep it in with resentment and bitterness. Like you said, unforgiveness is like taking poison, but expecting the other person to die from it, you know. But we will pray for you. You don't even have to believe in prayer. We do. We're going to pray for you, because I am so sorry that that happened to you.
Thank
I
you.
believe that there are a lot of heroes and warriors out there that are fighting against the system to make things better. And hopefully something good comes of all this awareness and talking about it, right?
Yes.
I mean, I just am so
Well,
sorry you went through what you did, but you
thank you.
are so honest and so ready to forgive, right? Like you said, you want to, but and it's okay that you're not able to now. It's
Yeah,
okay.
thank you. And I want to get in touch with Dr. Lauren Michael Harris. Foster care
Yes.
is close to my heart. And maybe we were meant to meet so that we could make that
Yes.
connection.
Absolutely. He is one of a kind. And so as soon as we get off this TV show, we are going to do the work and get you guys connected. But any
Fantastic.
parting words, anything else that you would like to say to our audience?
Yes, especially for anyone who's 15, 16, 17, they're not fully in control of their life yet. You have more power than you think. You have the opportunity to make decisions that the decisions you make today define your life tomorrow. And in a very short period of time, 2 or 3 years is a short period of time, you're going to be in charge and you're going to have that control. And you have the choice whether or not you are going to continue in a life that is numbing and self-medicating and really basically guaranteeing that you're going to continue being miserable. You have the power to make that decision to continue with those bad decisions or to continue with decisions that help you grow and heal and not self-medicate, not numb yourself, to address those issues, to utilize the resources that are available and really put yourself in a place where you are in control of your life and you're directing it in a positive way.
Are you enjoying the show? Let's go!
Get it while it's hot or cold. So good.
We it's season 2 and we are continuing with
The hard question.
But you better make it easy on her.
Okay.
It's
Or
okay.
I'm gonna beat you up. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Here's the question. Now, if you had the opportunity to go back to 18 years old again and go to a rock concert, and at that rock concert, you're going to meet the rock stars, and they're going to offer to be foster parents to you.
Okay.
Which rock concert are you going to?
Oh, that's easy. Tool. I have actually seen Tool in concert about 6 times. I've done the VIP experience, and I actually have a guitar pick. So that was used in concert. So
Epic. That was the
James
perfect
Maynard
answer.
Keenan. I know I don't look like a typical Tool fan, but yeah, that was music that got me through the 90s, foster care. Yeah.
Yes.
Tool all the way.
Yeah.
Music is healing.
Yes,
it is universal. It speaks when words cannot.
See, now I thought you would have said somebody like Rick Springfield or something like that.
I think it would be funny if, and bless his heart, he's deceased, but Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon, I think they would have been hilarious as foster parents, but I may be wrong on that, but they seem really fun.
You just walk away and go, what did he just say?
No.
I said that kind of sarcastically, but
funny.
That was a great answer. And we're so happy. We're going to put all of your links up for folks to be able to find you.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me again. I am honored. I am humbled. Thank you for having me.
forgiven. No more chains on me. I'm a child of God, that's who I am. I am free. I am beloved. I know I'm not condemned. You build me up, you give me strength. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I believe I am yours, Lord. I am yours, Lord. I am yours. I am a witness to the light in me. You fill that hole in my heart. No need to walk alone. I'm forgiven and free. It's a new day. I found a new way. Those days are gone, gone, gone. You washed them all away. It's a new day. I found a new way. Got a new start with a brand new heart. I was sad and alone without a home. You filled me up, my Lord, you took me in. It's a new day. I am yours. Yes, I am yours, my Lord. I am forgiven. No more chains on me. I'm a child of God, that's who I am. I am free. Yes, I am free. Now I found peace. It's a new day. I found a new way. Got a new start with a brand new heart. I was sad and alone without a home. You filled me up, my Lord, you took me in. It's a new day. I am yours. Lord, it's a new day. I'm walking on sunshine. Yeah, it's a new start. My life's with a brand new heart. I was sad and alone without a home. You filled me up, my Lord, you took me in. It's a new day. I am yours. Yes, I am yours, my Lord.
You're watching the Rockstar Diaries TV show. Death and taxes! Death and taxes! But not today.